Look who's living rent-free in your ex's head. You, magnificent, evolved, untouchable soul. Welcome back. Or should I say, welcome to the moment where everything they thought they knew about you just shattered into 1,000 pieces they'll never put back together. Because if you're still here, still watching, still breathing that different air, then you already know what I'm about to confirm. You're not the same person who begged for closure. You're not the version who cried into pillows at 3 a.m. wondering what you did wrong. You're not even adjacent to the human they thought they broke. You are something they cannot categorize, cannot diminish, cannot touch anymore. And that scares them more than anything they'll ever admit out loud. Let's talk about what's really happening right now, in this exact moment, while you're watching this. Your ex is somewhere, could be scrolling, could be talking to mutual friends, could be staring at their ceiling in the dark, and they're saying it. Those words. Something's different about them. Not angry, not relieved, different. That word sits in their throat like glass because what they really mean is, something's different and I can feel it from here. And I don't know how to process the fact that they evolved past me without even looking back. You know what that is? That's the sound of someone realizing they fumbled the rarest thing they'll ever touch. That's the echo of regret wrapped in confusion, wrapped in denial, wrapped in the suffocating realization that you didn't just move on, you moved up. And they're still stuck on the level where they left you, wondering how you made it to the penthouse while they're still riding the elevator down. Here's what they won't tell anyone, but you already know it in your bones. For weeks, maybe months after the breakup, they watched. They watched like it was their full-time job. Every story you posted, every picture, every caption, every song you shared, they analyzed it like archaeologists trying to find evidence of your collapse. They wanted proof. They needed proof that leaving you, or pushing you away, or whatever coward move they pulled, that it destroyed you. Because if you were destroyed, then their choice was validated. If you were suffering, then they could sleep at night thinking, see, I mattered. I was important. They can't function without me. But that's not what happened, is it? No. You went silent. Not the loud, dramatic, post-every-feeling kind of silent. The dangerous kind. The kind where you stopped performing your healing for an audience and actually started doing the work in the shadows where transformation is born. You stopped posting sad lyrics. You stopped subliminal messages. You stopped checking if they viewed your content. And that silence, that unbothered energy, it sent them into a spiral they're still falling through. Because silence to an ex who expected you to crumble is psychological warfare. It's a mirror held up to their own emptiness. It's the absence of the chaos they thought they'd leave behind. And when they heard nothing, saw nothing, felt nothing coming from your direction, their brain did what every dumper's brain does when the breakup doesn't go according to script. It started creating stories. Are they okay? Did they find someone better? Are they over me already? Did I even matter? And those questions, those intrusive little parasites, they don't have answers because you're not giving them any. You became a mystery they can no longer solve because you changed the locks and they don't even know what door to knock on anymore. Now let's get into the details they're noticing, the ones they're whispering about in conversations you're not part of but somehow still dominate. First, your energy. It's not the same. It doesn't have that desperate frequency anymore, that pick me, choose me, love me vibration that used to leak through everything you did. You used to care so much about their opinion, their approval, their attention. You shaped yourself around their needs, dimmed your light to make their insecurities comfortable, sacrificed your peace to keep them from feeling threatened. But now your energy has a weight to it, a gravity, a presence that doesn't ask for permission or validation. You walk into rooms differently. You speak with a certainty that wasn't there before. Your laugh sounds genuine, not performative. Your confidence isn't loud or arrogant, it's just there, solid, unshakable, rooted in something they can't touch because it's not external anymore, it's internal. It's yours. And they can feel it even from a distance, even through the digital void, even when they're trying to convince themselves they don't care. Second, your appearance. Oh, this one hits them different. Not because you got a haircut or lost weight or changed your style, though maybe you did. It's because you look like you belong to yourself now. There's no sadness in your eyes in the pictures they stalk at 2 a.m. No tension in your smile. No weight on your shoulders. You look free, lighter, more alive. And that visual evidence that you're thriving without them, it's a dagger they twist in their own chest every time they look. Because when you were together, maybe they got comfortable. Maybe they stopped trying. Maybe they took you for granted because they thought you'd always be there, always be the same, always be waiting. But you're not the same. You glowed up, but not for anyone. Not for revenge. Not for validation. You did it because you finally had the space to pour into yourself the energy you used to waste on someone who couldn't even see your value when it was standing right in front of them holding their hand. Third, your life. The one they thought would fall apart without them. The one they maybe even hoped would struggle a little so they could feel significant. But instead, your life looks full. You're doing things, going places, meeting people, building something. They see the evidence, the fragments that slip through social media or mutual friends, and it doesn't add up to the narrative they created. You were supposed to be stuck. You were supposed to still be hung up. You were supposed to prove that what you had was irreplaceable. But your life said, watch this, and then proceeded to become more interesting, more vibrant, more complete without them in it. And that's not bitterness. That's not shade. That's just truth. You stopped waiting for someone to complete you and realized you were never incomplete. You were just distracted. And now that the distraction is gone, they're watching you build an empire on the foundation of the lesson they taught you. That lesson? You don't need anyone who makes you question your worth. Let's go deeper, because this is where it gets dangerous for them. You know what really happened? You stopped being the person they could predict. When you were together, they knew your patterns. They knew your triggers. They knew how to get a reaction, how to make you chase, how to pull you back in with breadcrumbs whenever they felt you slipping away. You were readable, controllable, not in an evil way necessarily, but in the way that people get comfortable in relationships, where one person loves harder than the other. But you're not that person anymore. You're not reacting. You're not chasing. You're not even angry. And that might be the most unsettling part for them. Anger they could understand. Anger means you still care. Anger means they still have power. But indifference, growth, peace, that's a language they don't speak. That's a level they can't access. And watching you operate on that frequency while they're still stuck in the same cycles, the same patterns, the same shallow connections, it's exposing something they don't want to face. That maybe they're the one who's stuck. Maybe they're the one who didn't grow. Maybe they're the one who lost something irreplaceable and didn't realize it until it was too late. Your ex is talking about you. But here's the twist they won't admit. They're not talking about you. They're talking about the gap you left. The space where you used to be that nothing and no one has been able to fill. They tried. Oh, they tried. Maybe they jumped into something new real quick. A rebound to prove they're fine. They're over it. They're thriving too. But it's not the same, is it? Because that person isn't you. That connection is surface. That energy is borrowed. They're going through motions, checking boxes, performing happiness. But there's an emptiness they can't shake. And every time they catch a glimpse of you, your energy, your glow, your growth, it highlights everything they're missing. Not you specifically, but the version of themselves they were when they had you. The version that had someone who genuinely cared, someone who was loyal, someone who saw the best in them even when they didn't deserve it, someone who stayed when they should have left a long time ago. They didn't lose you. They lost the mirror that reflected the best parts of themselves, and now all they see is the cracks. Here's something they're realizing slowly, painfully. In moments of clarity, they immediately try to suppress. You weren't the problem. You were never the problem. The problem was them. Their insecurity, their immaturity, their inability to appreciate what they had until it was gone. Maybe they blamed you for things. Maybe they made you feel like you weren't enough. Maybe they pointed out flaws, criticized your efforts, made you question yourself. But now, watching you thrive, watching you glow, watching you exist so peacefully without them, the narrative is crumbling. If you were really the problem, you wouldn't be doing better now. If you were really too much or not enough, or whatever label they stamped on you to justify their exit, then your life would reflect that. But it doesn't. Your life reflects freedom, growth, alignment, and that's destroying every excuse they built to protect their ego. They're starting to see the truth, even if they'll never say it out loud, that they let go of someone rare, someone real, someone who would have stayed through anything if they just met you halfway. Let's talk about what's happening in their inner world right now, the thoughts they're having in private when no one's watching. They're comparing. Oh, they're comparing everything. The way you used to text versus how they text now. The effort you put into dates versus the effort they receive now. The way you listened, remembered little things, showed up, versus what they're experiencing with whoever came after. And every comparison is a loss. Every single one. Because you set a standard they didn't recognize until it was gone, and now they're stuck in situations that feel hollow by comparison. They might even be in a relationship right now, posting couple pictures, saying the right things, but there's a haunting. You're the ghost in every conversation that doesn't hit the same. You're the shadow in every moment that feels forced. You're the standard they're measuring everything against, and everything is falling short. And that realization, that slow burning acknowledgement that they traded gold for bronze, it's eating them alive from the inside out. They're also noticing something about themselves that makes them uncomfortable. They're still talking about you, still bringing you up, still checking on you, still wondering. And that behavior, that inability to fully let go, it's revealing something they don't want to admit, that maybe they didn't win the breakup. Maybe walking away wasn't the power move they thought it was. Maybe they made a mistake. But here's the beautiful, brutal truth. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they realize it now. It doesn't matter if they have regrets. It doesn't matter if they see your value in hindsight. Because you're not the same person anymore. The version of you that would have taken them back, that would have given third and fourth and fifth chances, that version died in the aftermath of what they put you through. The person you are now has standards, boundaries, self-respect. And even if they came back tomorrow with apologies and promises and changed behavior, you know something they're just starting to suspect: you outgrew them. Not in a petty way, not in a revenge way. In the most natural, inevitable way possible. You evolved past the level where they exist. Now here's where it gets really interesting. They're watching you from afar, and they're seeing something that's messing with their head. You're genuinely happy, not fake happy, not revenge happy, not look at me thriving to make my ex jealous happy. Actually, genuinely, peacefully happy. You're laughing with people who appreciate you. You're pursuing goals that excite you. You're creating a life that reflects your values. You're healing in ways that are visible even through a screen. And that happiness, that authentic joy, it's a reflection of something they need to face. You don't need them to be whole. You never did. You just thought you did because they made you believe your worth was tied to their presence. But now you know better. Now you've tasted freedom. Now you've experienced what it's like to prioritize yourself. And there's no going back from that. There's no unseeing what you've seen. No unbecoming who you've become. You crossed a threshold they can observe but never touch. And it's driving them crazy. Because they're realizing they're on the outside, looking in at a life they could have been part of, if they just knew how to appreciate it. Let's address the elephant in the room. Some of you watching this, you're wondering if they'll reach out, if they'll acknowledge what they're seeing, if they'll admit they were wrong. And here's what you need to hear. Maybe they will. Maybe one night they'll send that text. That "I miss you," or "I've been thinking about you," or "Can we talk?" And when that message comes, and it might, you need to remember something crucial. They're not reaching out because they changed. They're reaching out because you did. They're not coming back because they suddenly grew or healed or figured things out. They're coming back because they see the glow and they want access to it again. They want to bathe in the light you built without them. They want to benefit from the growth they had no part in. They want the version of you that exists now, but they don't understand that this version exists because they left. Your transformation required their absence. Your evolution needed the space they created when they walked away. And if they come back, if they try to slip back into your life, you have to ask yourself one question. Do I want someone who only values me when I'm glowing? Or do I want someone who waters me even when I'm still a seed? Here's what they're really saying when they say something's different about them. They're saying, I don't recognize the power I used to have over them. They're saying, I can't read them anymore, and it's uncomfortable. They're saying, they moved on for real, and I'm not ready to accept that. They're saying, I underestimated who they'd become without me, and now I'm paying the price in regret. But let's be clear about something. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Their regret is not your burden. Their realization that they lost something valuable is not your cue to go back and make them feel better about their choices. You don't owe them closure. You don't owe them a second chance. You don't owe them access to the version of yourself they couldn't appreciate when they had it. You owe yourself protection. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself the commitment to never downgrade back to a situation you outgrew just because someone finally noticed your worth. Let me tell you what's really different about you, the thing they can feel but can't articulate. You have a new relationship with yourself. That's the shift. That's the change they're sensing. You're not looking outside yourself for validation anymore. You're not seeking approval from people who can't see your value. You're not dimming your light to make others comfortable. You're not explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped performing. You stopped proving. You stopped people-pleasing your way through life, hoping someone would finally choose you. Instead, you chose yourself. And that choice, that singular decision to prioritize your own peace over other people's comfort, it changed everything. It changed your energy. It changed your standards. It changed what you tolerate and what you walk away from. It changed how you show up in the world. And your ex can feel that change like a shift in atmospheric pressure. They can sense it even without direct contact because energy doesn't lie, and yours is screaming, I'm good without you, so loud it's keeping them up at night. They're also noticing something else that's bothering them. You're not checking for them anymore. You're not watching their stories. You're not liking their posts. You're not asking mutual friends about them. You're not keeping tabs. And that absence of attention, that complete withdrawal of your energy from their orbit, it's creating a void they can't fill. Because here's the thing about people who take you for granted. They get comfortable with your presence even after they've pushed you away. They expect you to always be there in the background, watching, caring, hoping. Your attention, even when they didn't want your love, was still feeding their ego. But you cut that off. You went full no contact, not just physically but energetically. You stopped giving them the satisfaction of knowing they still affect you. And that withdrawal, that complete removal of yourself from their sphere, it's more powerful than anything you could have said. It's a statement louder than words. It says, you're not even important enough to hate. You're just irrelevant now. And irrelevance to someone who expected to always matter to you, that's a fate worse than anger. Now we need to talk about the timeline, because time is doing something they didn't expect. When the breakup first happened, they probably felt relief, freedom. They thought they made the right choice. But time has a way of revealing truth. Week 1, they were fine. Month 1, still okay. maybe even enjoying the single life or the new relationship. But then something shifted. Month 2, 3, 6, you're not breaking down. You're not reaching out. You're not giving them the satisfaction of seeing you hurt. And slowly, gradually, the relief turned into doubt. The confidence turned into questioning. The freedom turned into emptiness. And now, however many months later, they're living in a reality where you're thriving and they're wondering what happened. Time didn't heal them. Time exposed them. It showed them that what they thought was a smart decision was actually the biggest loss they'll carry. Time showed them that the grass isn't greener, it's just different grass. And they're realizing they burned down a garden to chase a mirage. Here's the part that's going to hurt them the most in the long run. They're going to watch you win, not just move on, but actually win at life. You're going to achieve things, build things, become things. And they're going to see it all from the sidelines, like a spectator who used to be a player. They're going to watch you fall in love again, but this time with someone who actually deserves you. Someone who sees your worth without needing to lose you first. Someone who matches your energy instead of draining it. Someone who chooses you consistently instead of conditionally. And when that happens, when they see you genuinely happy with someone who treats you the way they should have, it's going to break something in them they didn't know could break. Because that's the moment it becomes real. That's the moment they can't pretend anymore. That's the moment they have to face the fact that they had someone who would have given them the world and they chose to walk away. And no amount of rationalization or justification will ease that pain. Look at them dancing. Look at them laughing. Look at them throwing their little victory party, popping champagne over what they think is your funeral. Oh, the lights are bright, the music is loud, the smiles are wide, and they're convinced, absolutely convinced, that they won, that you lost, that the game is over and they're holding the trophy. But here's what's eating you alive with quiet satisfaction right now. Here's what's making you smile in the shadows while they celebrate in the spotlight. They have no idea, not a single clue, not even a whisper of understanding that every step they took, every move they made, every decision they celebrated was exactly what you needed them to do. They're not standing in victory. They're standing in your trap. And the beautiful, poetic, absolutely devastating part, they think it was their idea. They think they outsmarted you. They think they escaped you. They think they defeated you. But you, oh you beautiful, calculating, patient genius, you know the truth that's going to hit them like a freight train in the dark. They didn't win anything. They didn't escape anything. They didn't defeat anything. They walked. No, they ran. They sprinted exactly where you wanted them. And now they're celebrating right on top of the X you marked months ago, years ago, maybe even from the very beginning. Welcome back to the game you never left. Or should I say, welcome to the realization that you were never playing their game. They were playing yours. Let's get something absolutely crystal clear before we go any deeper into this beautiful mess. For months, maybe years, maybe your entire relationship with these people, they thought they were the chess players and you were the pawn. They thought they were the directors and you were the extra. They thought they were the architects and you were the brick. Every conversation, every confrontation, every moment they put you in your place or showed you who's boss or taught you a lesson, they walked away feeling like champions, like strategists, like winners. And you let them feel that way. Not because you were weak, not because you were defeated, but because you understood something they never could grasp with their amateur minds and fragile egos. The person who looks like they're losing is often the person who's actually setting the board. The person who appears to surrender is often the person who's actually repositioning. The person who seems to walk away empty-handed is often the person who just placed the final piece exactly where it needs to be. And now, right now, in this moment, they're celebrating what they think is your loss, while standing in the exact position you needed them in, the exact location, the exact mindset, the exact false sense of security, the exact vulnerable exposure. And the clock? Oh, the clock is ticking. Not against you anymore, against them. And they're too busy celebrating to hear it. Because here's what happened that they're too drunk on fake victory to understand. When they pushed you out, you were already planning your exit. When they rejected you, you were already done with them. When they chose someone else, you already knew that person was exactly who they deserved. When they moved on without you, you were already 3 steps ahead, building something they couldn't even imagine. When they left you behind, you were already running toward a destination they'll never reach. Every single thing they think they did to you, you allowed to happen for you. Because you're not reactive, you're strategic, you're not emotional, you're tactical, you're not playing checkers. You're playing chess while they're still trying to figure out which way the pieces move. And oh, the celebration. Let's talk about their celebration. The posts, the pictures, the stories, the subtle digs, the not so subtle victories, the whole performance designed to show you, to show everyone, that they're thriving without you, that they're better off, that they upgraded, that they won. Look at them gathering their audience, collecting their likes, harvesting their validation from people who don't know the full story, who weren't in the room, who didn't see what really happened behind closed doors. They're building their narrative, crafting their victory speech, writing their version of history. And you're quiet. You're watching. You're waiting. Not because you're hurt, not because you're plotting revenge, but because you know something that's going to age like the finest poison. Their celebration is happening on your terms, in your timeline, within your plan. They think they're free. They think they escaped. They think they got away with something. But really, truly, they're exactly where you needed them to be, away from you, distracted by their false victory, lowering their guard, showing their true colors to everyone watching, revealing their character in high definition, proving everything you knew about them but never had to say out loud. Because when you're truly strategic, you don't expose people, you let them expose themselves. You don't destroy people, you let them destroy themselves. You don't prove who they really are. You create the conditions where they prove it themselves, to everyone, in a way no one can deny or defend. Let's dig into the mechanics of this beautiful disaster they're calling success. See, when they won, what exactly did they win? Your absence? Congratulations. They got exactly what you wanted to give them. Distance from toxicity. Your silence? Amazing. They earned exactly what you were ready to offer. Peace from their chaos. Your replacement? Perfect. They found exactly who matches their energy. Someone at their level. Your indifference? Brilliant. They achieved exactly what you were cultivating anyway. Freedom from their weight. They think they took something from you, but really, truly, devastatingly, you gave them exactly what they were worth. Nothing they have now is something you wanted to keep. Nothing they celebrate now is something you miss. Nothing they gained is something you lost, because you can't lose what you were ready to release. And here's where it gets psychologically delicious, where the poetry of your strategy reveals itself in full color. They're celebrating the end of something. You're celebrating the beginning of everything. They're looking backward, telling stories about how they dealt with you and moved on from you and survived you. You're looking forward, building empires they can't even pronounce, creating realities they can't even imagine, becoming a version of yourself they won't even recognize when they finally look up from their party and see what you've become. Their victory is about subtraction. Your victory is about multiplication. Their celebration is about what they escaped. Your celebration is about what you're creating. Their win is defined by your absence. Your win is defined by your presence. Everywhere they can never reach. Think about the timeline for a second. Really think about it. How long did you watch them? How long did you study them? How long did you observe their patterns, their weaknesses, their tells, their cycles, their predictability? They thought you were just existing in their world, reacting to their moves, responding to their decisions. But you were doing something infinitely more dangerous. You were learning them, downloading their operating system, mapping their psychology, understanding their triggers, their fears, their insecurities, their methods, their limits. And all that time, all those months or years, you were building a profile. Not for revenge, not for retaliation, but for strategy. Because you knew, eventually, you'd need to know exactly how they think so you could predict exactly what they'd do. And you did. You predicted it perfectly. You knew they'd take the bait. You knew they'd make the move. You knew they'd choose the path. You knew they'd celebrate the outcome. Because you know them better than they know themselves. You understand their ego better than they do. You see their patterns clearer than they ever will. So when the moment came, when the opportunity presented itself, when the situation aligned, you didn't force anything. You didn't manipulate anything. You simply created the conditions and let their nature do the rest. Like setting a trap in the forest and letting the animal's instincts walk it right into the snare. You didn't chase them into it. You didn't push them into it. You just knew they'd walk into it because that's what they always do. That's who they are. Predictable, readable, exactly where you knew they'd be. Now let's talk about what they don't see yet, what they won't see until it's too late to matter. While they're celebrating their victory over you, they're actually celebrating their isolation from you. And at first, that doesn't sound like much. At first, that sounds like exactly what they wanted. But here's the thing about cutting off access to people who are actually adding value, actually providing stability, actually offering genuine energy in a world full of fake everything. You don't feel the loss immediately. You feel it slowly, gradually, in small moments, in quiet realizations, in situations where you reach for something that's no longer there. They're going to reach for your loyalty and find betrayal. They're going to reach for your honesty and find lies. They're going to reach for your peace and find chaos. They're going to reach for your consistency and find disappointment. Because here's what you represented in their life that they won't understand until you're truly gone from their world. You were the standard. You were the bar. You were the reminder of what real looks like in a world of facades. And now that you're gone, now that they're free from you, now that they're celebrating without you, they're surrounded by exactly who they deserve. People who match their energy, people who mirror their chaos, people who operate at their frequency, people who will treat them exactly how they treated you. And that is the trap they're celebrating inside of. They think they upgraded, they think they evolved, they think they moved on to better. But really, they downgraded to equal. They devolved to familiar. They moved on to exactly what they are. And you? You moved on to exactly what you're becoming. Here's where your strategy reveals its true genius, where the depth of your patience pays its most beautiful dividend. You didn't just let them go. You didn't just walk away. You didn't just move on. You positioned yourself so perfectly that their victory became your verification. Their celebration became your confirmation. Their success became your evidence. Evidence of what? Evidence that you were right about them all along. Evidence that your assessment was accurate. Evidence that your decision to detach was the right move. Evidence that everything you saw, everything you felt, everything you knew in your gut was correct. They're out there proving you right with every post, every story, every celebration, every choice, and they have no idea they're doing it. See, when you're truly confident in your read of someone, you don't need to convince anyone else. You don't need to explain, you don't need to expose, you don't need to defend your decision to distance yourself. You just let time do the work. You let their actions speak. You let their choices reveal. You let their celebration show everyone exactly who they are, what they value, how they move, who they become when they think they won. And the beautiful part? You don't have to say a word. You don't have to throw a single stone. You don't have to fire a single shot. You just have to step back and let them perform. Let them show out. Let them celebrate. Because the bigger their celebration, the louder their exposure. The more they boast, the more they reveal. The harder they flex, the clearer their character becomes to everyone watching. And people are watching. Oh, they're definitely watching. Not just you, everyone. The audience they're performing for is taking notes, mental notes, seeing patterns, noticing inconsistencies, questioning narratives, watching how they move in victory, how they treat others in success, how they behave when they think they're winning. And slowly, quietly, inevitably, the people who matter are forming their own conclusions. The real ones are seeing through the performance. The wise ones are reading between the lines. The authentic ones are recognizing the energy. And your name? Your name might be absent from their celebration, but your presence is loud in the silence. People remember how you moved. People remember how you carried yourself. People remember your dignity, your grace, your quiet strength. And now they're comparing, contrasting, connecting dots. And the picture that's forming, it's not the one your celebrators intended to paint. Let's talk about the psychological warfare aspect of this, because that's really what this is, isn't it? Psychological chess at the highest level. They think they broke you. They think they beat you. They think they got the best of you. And you? You let them think that. You let them believe their narrative. You let them tell their story. You let them own their version. Why? Because people who think they've already won stop fighting. People who think they've already beaten you stop watching you. People who think they've already moved past you stop paying attention to your moves. And that is exactly when you make your real move. Not the move they see, not the move they expect, not the move they prepared for, but the move they never saw coming because they were too busy celebrating to notice you were still playing. This is Sun Tzu level strategy, and they're out here playing like amateurs. Appear weak when you are strong. You appear defeated while you were repositioning. When you are near, make it appear you are far. You appear distant while you were observing everything. Attack where they are unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. They're celebrating in one direction while you're building in another. They're focused on the past while you're creating the future. They're telling stories about yesterday while you're writing the reality of tomorrow. And by the time they finish their celebration, by the time they sober up from their victory party, by the time they look around and realize the game is still going, you'll be so far ahead they won't even be able to see you anymore. Just your dust, just your echo, just the memory of someone they thought they knew. Now here's the part that's going to hit different, the part that's going to land in your spirit like confirmation from the universe itself. Every single person who's celebrating your loss right now, every single one, is about to learn the lesson you were trying to teach them, gently. The lesson they refused to learn when you were present. The lesson they mocked when you offered it with love. The lesson they rejected when you gave it with patience. But now they're going to learn it the hard way, through experience, through consequences, through the natural law of cause and effect, through the reality that everything you warned them about, everything you tried to show them, everything you represented was actually protecting them from themselves. And now that protection is gone. Now that buffer is removed. Now that safety net has disappeared, and they're about to fall, not because you pushed them, but because you stopped catching them. You were the balance in their chaos. You were the truth in their delusion. You were the mirror in their denial. You were the anchor in their drift, and they hated you for it. They resented you for it. They fought against you for it. They pushed you away for it, because the truth is uncomfortable, because mirrors show what people don't want to see, because balance exposes imbalance, Because anchors prevent the drift that feels like freedom but leads to destruction. So they cut the anchor. They broke the mirror. They rejected the truth. They eliminated the balance. And now they're free. Free to drift. Free to delude. Free to spiral. Free to become exactly what they were becoming before you showed up. And you're free too. Free from the exhausting job of trying to save people who don't want to be saved. Free from the painful work of holding up people who refuse to stand. Free from the toxic cycle of giving to people who only know how to take. Let's get specific about what they're actually celebrating. Because words matter and clarity is power. They're not celebrating growth, they're celebrating your absence. They're not celebrating evolution, they're celebrating your silence. They're not celebrating success, they're celebrating your distance. Their entire victory is defined by you. By what you're not doing, by where you're not present, by how you're not responding. Their whole celebration is a reaction to you, about you, because of you. Which means you still have the power, you still have the influence, you still have the control. They just don't realize it yet. They think they're free from you. But really, you're still the main character in their story. You're still the reference point in their narrative. You're still the standard they're measuring against. Even in your absence, especially in your absence, you're the most powerful presence in their celebration. And that's going to eat at them, slowly, quietly, in moments they can't explain. They'll be in the middle of their celebration and suddenly feel empty. They'll be surrounded by their upgrade and suddenly miss your energy. They'll be living their better life and suddenly remember your value. They'll be posting their happiness and suddenly feel your absence like a hole in their chest they can't fill with likes, because you can't replace real with fake. You can't substitute authentic with performance. You can't trade genuine for temporary. They can try. Oh, they'll try so hard. They'll try to convince themselves that what they have now is better than what they had with you. They'll try to believe that who they're with now is an upgrade from who you were. They'll try to sell themselves the story that they won, they improved, they evolved. But the truth has a way of creeping in quiet moments, in honest reflections, in comparisons they can't help but make. Here's what's coming for them, like a storm they can't see yet, like a wave they can't hear building. The realization, the slow, creeping, undeniable realization that they didn't win anything, that they didn't gain anything, that they didn't upgrade anything. The realization that what they thought was victory was actually loss. What they thought was freedom was actually exile from something real. What they thought was moving on was actually moving backward to exactly where they were before you elevated them. And that realization won't come all at once. It'll come in pieces, in moments, in situations, when they need something you used to provide and it's not there. When they want something you used to offer and it's unavailable. When they reach for something you used to be and find emptiness. And slowly, piece by piece, moment by moment, situation by situation, they'll understand. You weren't the problem. You were the solution. And they just celebrated eliminating their own answer. But here's where your character shines, where your evolution separates you from them permanently. When that realization hits them, you won't be available. When that regret sinks in, you won't be accessible. When that understanding dawns, you won't be reachable. Not because you're being petty, not because you're being vengeful, not because you're being cold, but because you'll be so far into your new reality, so deep into your new life, so established in your new version, that their old world won't even exist in your universe anymore. You won't be ignoring them. You genuinely won't notice them. You won't be avoiding them. You genuinely won't think about them. You won't be hiding from them. You genuinely won't care about them, because you'll have evolved past the frequency where they exist. You'll have transcended the level where they operate. You'll have ascended beyond the realm where they matter. You were. They'll try to sell themselves the story that they won, they improved, they evolved. But the truth has a way of creeping in quiet moments, in honest reflections, in comparisons they can't help but make. Here's what's coming for them, like a storm they can't see yet, like a wave they can't hear building. The realization, the slow, creeping, undeniable realization that they didn't win anything, that they didn't gain anything, that they didn't upgrade anything. The realization that what they thought was victory was actually loss. What they thought was freedom was actually exile from something real. What they thought was moving on was actually moving backward to exactly where they were before you elevated them. And that realization won't come all at once. It'll come in pieces, in moments, in situations, when they need something you used to provide and it's not there, when they want something you used to offer and it's unavailable, when they reach for something you used to be and find emptiness, and slowly, piece by piece, moment by moment, situation by situation, they'll understand. You weren't the problem, you were the solution, and they just celebrated eliminating their own answer. But here's where your character shines, where your evolution separates you from them permanently. When that realization hits them, you won't be available. When that regret sinks in, you won't be accessible. When that understanding dawns, you won't be reachable. Not because you're being petty, not because you're being vengeful, not because you're being cold, but because you'll be so far into your new reality, so deep into your new life, so established in your new version, that their old world won't even exist in your universe anymore. You won't be ignoring them. You genuinely won't notice them. You won't be avoiding them. You genuinely won't think about them. You won't be hiding from them. You genuinely won't care about them, because you'll have evolved past the frequency where they exist. You'll have transcended the level where they operate. You'll have ascended beyond the realm where they matter.